to another live edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show. I am Gary Mack, and I'm joined as usual with the great, the one, the only, Rich Baxter. Rich, how are you this lovely evening?
Doing great. Thank you for the introduction, Gary. I hope you're doing well as well.
I am doing well, and even though my Mets took a trashing last night, or a thrashing, I should say, 7-0, lost two more players. They're dropping like flies, but what can you do? There are other injuries going around the league. Mike Trout is hurt, maybe out for a little bit of time. Haven't seen a new report on him, but that's the way it goes, and that's why they say it's a marathon and not a sprint in the game of baseball. And Rich, we're almost down to the 100 game remaining mark, 62 games. I think the Mets will be at, what are they now, 58th? So by Monday or so, they'll be down to 100 games left, and we are really getting into the heart of the season now.
Yes, we are. We're getting to that sprint part of the season almost, even though, we're, a third of the way into the season almost, or heading that way. But yeah, as we get closer to the All-Star break and things like that, it really puts a spotlight on the league. And as you said, the Mets were hit by pitches yesterday, and your team is the most hit by pitch of any team in the league. I can't understand why.
Yeah, I don't get it either, and some people say it's the wildness on the behalf of some of these young pitchers that are trying to throw 100 miles an hour. Some say it's because they got rid of the spider tack and the other tacky substance that they were allowed to use, which allowed them to get a greater or a better grip on the baseball. And Major League Baseball is going to have to do something about that, Rich, because this guy's getting hit, and somebody's going to get hurt. The Mets have gotten hit in the head a couple of times already, and luckily they've avoided injuries. And if we remember last year with Kevin Pillar got hit in the face, and somebody's going to get really hurt. And before they do that, I think baseball's got to go back to the look into the at least using the least of the two tacky substances. If you know the pitchers are using it doesn't, it kind of takes away it doesn't take away the effect of it, but at least the batters know what's going on then.
Yeah, and as you said, it's dangerous when they get hit. We saw Pete Alonso go down like an imploded building. He just went straight down to the ground, and some of those other pitches were strange from you, Darvish, as well. And you got to keep a close eye on that because even though Polar Bear there was negative with the X-rays, still a scary thing to see.
Yeah, and those are the preliminary X-rays. We don't know whether or not they were going to take an MRI today. There is no word on whether or not they did that, and if there's any further news. So we're all kind of here in New York on tenterhooks, waiting to see if there's further news that'll take him out for a little bit of time. And the game can't afford to have its stars out. Look, if a guy gets hurt, a guy gets hurt. But if he's out on something like this, a broken hand or finger or what, something that takes him out, it's not good for the game. And that's why I say they may have to go back to this some sort of tacky substance. I know they're investigating to find something, I guess, that the one substance was really tacky, and then they were looking to find something that was that can do the job but a lot less. So,
Hmm.
but maybe they just got to go with the least of two evils right now, whatever they have available, and work from there. Because again, somebody could get very hurt.
Yeah, and we have some stories. The first couple managers in baseball being fired. Some other great stories for this show. And we thank our Facebook viewers out there. We're streaming this live to Facebook on our page for the Baseball Talk Radio Show, so you can check that out and be notified when we go live on Facebook. So, a rare midweek show for us this week, covering both weekends for us here. But as of today, Gary, AllStar Balloting opened up for the first wave of votes for your picks there for the 22 All-Star ballot. Let's take a look at what's going on here. And I just found this out when I set up to do the show here. So we've got all the first base selections here, just about one from every team, looks like.
I think that's what
Lot,
they do. They put one from every team. So
yeah, a
you do
lot of
get the option.
choices. Yeah. So we're scrolling through here on the live feed here. If you're watching the video feed on either Facebook or YouTube, and yeah, ton of choices here. Even the rookie for the Phillies at at third base there, he doesn't like Citizens Bank Park, but you can vote for him if you want. You know, one player from each team for each position, and they never used to do this when they had the paper balloting. They didn't have enough room for all these players.
Yeah. Well, nowadays the digital they can. And Rich, I have to do something this year with my ballot that I never did before, and that is I have to vote for a designated hitter. I usually skip that um, in the because it was only in the American League, so I didn't care.
Uh-huh.
Uh, this year, though, with the universal designated hitter, it kind of forces me to vote for one. And I'll tell you, it's really nobody I can think of that really stands out because teams have sort of gotten away from that, you know, one guy that they want to keep as a designated hitter, and they've kind of spread it out to give guys rests and whatnot. And so I don't know. I guess it might be Harper I'd have to vote for in the National League, being that he with his arm he's become the designated hitter
Yeah.
for the Phillies. But other than Nelson Cruz, really is um, the only guy that would be the traditional sense a designated hitter. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah. As you said, they're spreading it out on some nights, some of these teams, and um, not necessarily like you would think from the old days in the American League. So you and I are getting used to the designated hitter. I've taken to it a lot easier than I thought I would. I thought I would have a distaste for it, but I hardly notice the difference, except for a little bit more offense. So it's really cool to have more offense in a game and not have the pitcher come up. He's almost always an instant out, usually.
I still can't. Still, I still don't like it. I do miss the pitcher hitting, and it's just I don't know. It's just something about it that just rubs me the wrong way. I guess. Just not a fan of it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
what are you gonna do? It's here, and it's not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
stuck with it.
So on this digital balloting, it says here during the first phase of voting, there's a limit of 5 ballot submissions per single valid email address during any 24-hour period. So, pretty cool that you can vote up to 5 times there per valid email address. So, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people voting in this, and the paper ballots are the way of the dinosaur, Gary. I guess we won't find them around the ballpark.
No, no more, Rich. And it's a kind of a shame, but you know, you can stuff the ballot box here just as well. Look, you can have 4 or 5 emails, and 5 times a day you can vote. That's if you're of that ilk. That's 25 times you could vote. And there are probably people that have programs that have much more, you know, email addresses might be in the hundreds for all we know. And that
Uh,
they know how to rig these things and just go and vote it. So, um, if you remember a couple of years ago, they threw out like, what was it, 1 million votes or something?
yeah,
Because it was they found out it was all from one area, and it seemed to be a real stuffing of the ballot box, and they threw out like 1 million votes. So nothing's foolproof anymore, and it's really kind of a shame. I wish there was a way they could cut it down in one vote. Well, you don't need this many, but I think they want to have the numbers in the millions so it looks good. Look
yeah,
at all the baseball fans, and I guess that's why they do it. But you know, we'll see. There are guys that should be on it, and guys that will get on that probably don't deserve it, and it's almost like it's become a popularity contest.
yeah. Phase one of the voting started today, goes through June 30th. As we said, you can vote 5 times per day, any 24-hour period. Uh, Top 2 vote getters at each position advance to the finals. And then the finals are from, looks like July 5th to July 8th. You'll vote 1 time per day and vote for the starters for each position. So, very cool. Of course, the AllStar Game this year in Los Angeles. So, Tinseltown gets another great showcase to, present the game.
Mm-hmm. And at Dodger Stadium, and as long as the Dodgers don't wear those ugly blue uniforms again, we're okay. But
Yeah, yeah.
that's another story for another day.
Yes, it is. And
And
I just wanted to let our listeners know. I know I was talking about it last week, but I did get my military hat in over the week. I didn't
uh,
take it out of the box yet, though, so you might have to wait till next week's show
okay.
to see.
Well, you were talking about that, so you pulled the trigger on it, you bought it, and uh, good luck with it.
Thank you very much. I'll wear it well. And of course, this upcoming weekend is the Father's Day weekend for MLB. They'll have celebrations wearing yet another style hat. They're like blue logos in the middle of the
Hmm.
hats, uh, iridescent type of blue for all
Right.
teams. So, I don't think I'll get one of those hats. I'm going to pass on that. But,
It's too much.
yeah. But
And
if
they're
you're
not
going,
cheap either.
no, no, you could, have a small fortune in hats all of a sudden. Not that they
Oh.
were ever really cheap, but yeah. But now the stadiums will be giving away something this weekend for the dads as well, usually on Sunday. So if you're going out to the ballparks, enjoy the game and enjoy your gifts, dads out there.
And there's a couple of dads out there, though, that won't be enjoying so much. And those were, you mentioned earlier, we've had the first 2 managers fired in this season. And One of them was from your team, the Philadelphia Phillies. They fired Joe Girardi, and I was kind of surprised, and I wasn't surprised at the same time. Um, Especially after that last series he had, and Rob Thompson has taken over. Not Robbie Thompson that was with the Giants. This is another Rob Thompson. He has taken over the interim manager, and he's undefeated so far. So, um, was it Joe Girardi, or was it just they needed a change and to clean out some of the laundry there?
Yeah, that's an interesting topic because a lot of sports writers were writing that it was the combination of players put together on the Phillies that actually was the cause for it. So, but whatever the case, it seems like something happened to the Phillies because they've been going on a winning streak ever since. They've pulled out some dramatic wins. And I think it was the spark that was lit under the players personally. You know, a lot of fingers were pointing right back at them, of course, for being the reason that Joe Girardi got fired. And the same with Joe Maddon out on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
They happened to be playing in Philadelphia last weekend, and they were on the tail end and still of a big losing streak. I think they're up to 12 games on a losing streak, so
Yeah, yeah.
12 or 13 now. So Joe Maddon let go, and it was a very similar thing. He didn't think he was going to get let go, and he didn't agree with it in some interviews. He said he didn't think that he warranted that.
Well, they can't blame the whole team, so they get rid of the manager, and they lost, as you said, 12 in a row, I think it was, and now they might have lost. It might be up to 13 now. They have not fared as well. They have not won since Joe Maddon was let go. I think they played a game or two.
Yeah.
The Phillies are like 4-0 though since they let Girardi go. Interesting though how two guys that have won world championships as the managers, and everybody thought they were top shelf managers, and they are. You know, uh, I never thought that when Madden went to the Angels, I never felt like it was a good fit for him. I don't know why. It just didn't seem like a good fit, and as it turns out, it wasn't. Um, Same thing with Girardi. I just couldn't see Girardi in Philadelphia. I can't explain why. It was just that kind of a feeling where um, you see the guy. He was with the Yankees. He was with the Cubs. He was with the Marlins. Cubs would have been a better fit, probably for both guys. Um, then Madden left the Cubs, but I just didn't think it was a good fit there. And as it turns out, after a couple of years, it's not. But that's the game, You get hired to be fired, and there's nothing you can do about it. And it just goes to show you even the biggest names can fail at their jobs, and it's always fascinating to me though that how good a guy that was so good at Tampa Bay, like a Madden, and in such demand, and then go to a place like this and fail. And same thing with Girardi.
Yeah.
And AJ Hinch, we'll see how that works out. He's at Detroit after leading Houston to a world championship, so we'll see how that'll work out as well. He'll get along the rope because of the fact that they are a rebuilding team and very young. So, but it's a very interesting thing that how these things set up and they work out.
Yeah. I wonder if Joe Madden might have an in at Philadelphia, possibly. I'm not sure. Both managers were what they call lame duck managers because they had new GMs installed after they actually were hired. So that's what they call the lame duck manager. So, that might have something to do with it. Certainly, all the negativity around losing had something to do with it. And let's look at the facts. The Los Angeles Angels haven't really won anything lately. So, what are they expecting? Are they expecting to go right into the World Series? I know they had two fourth finishing places, but they've been kind of a dreadful team. They've never really accomplished too much in the last few years. Madden's in the final year of a 3-year, $12 million contract. I don't know. I don't know if the Phillies would entertain hiring him. He's certainly a veteran manager like a Buck Showalter. He knows how to be inventive with players. He knows how to have a little fun during the season. You always
Mm-hmm.
read about the antics where they're dressing on different trips, in different uh, garb and stuff. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with both careers as they go on.
Yeah, it will be, and of course, Girardi being the younger of the two, he's in his 50s, I think, and
Hmm.
Madden must be about 68, 69 by now. Not that that's old, mind you.
Yeah, that's right.
He's getting in my neighborhood, or he's in it. But yeah, that's what happens. And some people will say, well, look at you get to a certain age, it becomes tough with these new kind of plays. Tony La Russa's struggling this year, even, and he's what 127. I think what killed Joe Madden was they had gotten off to a pretty good start. The Angels at one place were in first place in the division, and then this losing streak really, really hurt him. Uh, had it been 5 games and then they turned it around, won a couple of games, you go, man, you go 10 deep, 11 deep, 12 deep. That's wow. I mean, that's bad. It's like the Mets. They've had two or three. I think they had a two game losing streaks and then won a game. So that's what keeps you in a race. I think you have to avoid those long winning streaks, and the
Or
Angels
losing
didn't do
streaks.
that. Yeah, losing. Yeah, well, yeah. You don't want to avoid the long winning
Right.
streaks. You want to avoid
Avoid
the
the
long
losing streaks.
losing streaks.
Exactly. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Well, collecting cards has been reemerging as we've been talking about here on the show almost each week. And this week, a new service was launched by eBay. And part of collecting cards, I don't know about you, Gary, if you have any cards stashed away, sometimes you don't know where to put them. And, you might have some in your bookcase, you might have some in a special place where you keep cards in like a box or something like that. But at least that's the way my story is. But eBay has opened up a trading card vault service as of now, or pretty soon. I think you can sign up for it. And what it is cards valued at $750 or more per card can be housed in a 31,000 square foot, 24-hour a day, 7-day a week secured temperature controlled facility in Delaware. Company officials at eBay say the vault can be used by collectors to sell and buy graded cards without shipping them, and also puts eBay in the mix for offering cards via fractional shares. So you can invest in a real old card that's worth a lot of money and own 5% of it or whatever as an investment. So they're always thinking about making money there. If you're watching our video portion of the show, I got a little picture of what this place supposedly looks like. and the cards can be bought and sold, and you don't have to worry about shipping them because they're going to always be housed in this eBay vault if you want them to stay there. So, pretty cool on this.
But that takes all the fun out of
You
it.
can't hold the card.
You can't hold the cards, you know. Uh, it's like I like a book too. You know,
Yeah,
the digital books just don't. It's not the same. I like to hold it in my hand. I like the tactile or how
yeah,
whatever you call it feel of everything,
yep.
and I like to go look at my baseball cards and I have nothing of any value, believe me. but it's fun to look back and say, "Oh, I remember that guy." Or even the commons we used to call the commons, you know, where they had
Yeah,
15 cards of oh, I don't know, Mike Kruger or something or other. Or, you know, you'd get he'd be. It seemed like some guys would be in every pack.
yeah,
I miss those days.
yep.
Uh, and to our listeners we have Jeff watching us on Facebook right now. No, Jeff, it is not Sunday. You're not all screwed up. We are doing a midweek show, and he wanted us to know that he's using an R.A. Dickey card right now as a bookmark. So, see,
Ah,
people want to use those cards, and
very
um,
cool.
you know, I don't know. This just I guess I could see something like a Hannes Wagner card, something along that line. You want to protect it and all of that, but I don't understand all of these partial investment things. You know, now
Yeah,
there's companies that you can sign up for and you can buy like a half of the stock or something, or
yeah,
it
fractional.
I don't I'm as I say I must be getting old because I don't understand that. I don't understand cryptocurrency at all. Um and I think I'm pretty good on computers, but this stuff I
Yeah,
don't have the time and I don't have the energy for, and maybe it's me and and it's a loss for me
right.
not understanding it, but I um I like a baseball card, and our
Yeah,
friend Jeff brings up the point that he doesn't get the digital cards either. And
right.
I agree. I looked at them, and they say, "Oh, trade with your friend." What am I trading? I'm trading a digital picture here that
Trading
I can
nothing.
get anywhere on the internet. Why do I have to pay money to buy this digital thing?
Yeah,
Uh, you know, uh, can you flip it over? Can you look at it? I I'm sorry. And Jeff wants to know what is an NFT. I have no
yeah.
idea. Do you have any idea what that is?
It's essentially the same thing. It's a digital asset. It's what they refer to as a non-fungible token. So it's something that exists in the cloud, so to speak. And maybe we'll have a guest on sometime that would be able to give us a better understanding of. But it's that virtual type of ownership of something. Um, you know, something that's designed, something that's yours and no one else's. But to get back to the vault here, it'll by 2023 it'll be expanded to include items from collectible categories and luxury goods. Within a few years, eBay claims the vault will hold up to $3 billion in assets, making it one of the largest stores of non-governmental assets in the world. So they know how to make money, eBay, and collecting cards is hot again, so they're right in the right area to do that.
So does that mean you can put your Renoir and your Matisse?
You're
Uh,
digital.
oh,
Well, I maybe you can. I mean, you maybe just gave him another idea.
And George is watching us too. I don't know where George is from. He doesn't say, but hi George and hi Jeff, and thanks for tuning in tonight.
Yep.
And I hope Jeff that answers your question about the NFT. I still have no idea what the heck Rich was talking about, but that's okay. That's what we're here for. And Rich, I saw this story a week or so ago, and we talked a little bit about the designated hitters on the AllStar ballot. And one guy that the Mets took a chance, made a trade a couple years ago, got a huge contract in Robinson Cano, and they let him go. They're gonna pay him like I don't know what it is, $30-something million, $40 million. They bought it out. They just let him go because there was no place, wasn't hitting, and couldn't. His time has come to an end. He was couldn't cover second like he used to anymore, and stuff like that. So he signed a contract with San Diego. Well, less than 3 weeks after arriving in San Diego, they optioned him to AAA El Paso last Thursday, but he declined the request and became a free agent. So it looks like Robinson Cano is, maybe a team will. I don't think anybody's picked him up so far. Um, could maybe go to Japan or Korea and play over there. Uh, obviously the Mets made the right choice in releasing him, and here his second team released him in a year, and that kind of tells you something when two teams release you in 1 year.
Yeah, it tells you your career's winding down. Maybe a DH somewhere. I don't know. Maybe a playoff team would want to pick him up. I'm not sure, but yeah, sometimes these careers come down to a sad end, and it looks like in Cano's case, that is the case. So tough break for him. We'll have to monitor that career a little bit here and let you know what's happening with him. Getting back to the cards real quick, Gary. I love this baseball site, a card site actually, and it's called Sports Collectors Daily. I don't know if our listeners have, the card hobby, but if you do, check out sportscollectorsdaily.com. They got a million stories on collecting cards, and it's just a wonderful reference to take advantage of.
What is it again, Rich? Sports
It's
collectors.
sportscollectorsdaily.com.
Okay.
Yeah, all one word. And I just brought up for the video viewers and our watchers here on Facebook and YouTube, they review cards, both new and the older ones. Here was one from 2014 when collecting was fairly big, and they review it and tell you all about it. Here was Topps Tribute, so there's high dollar cards that included a lot of nice collectible cards like autographs, and they'll put sometimes they'll put uniform swatches. If you're watching the video, here's a Tony Gwynn swatch of one of his uniforms here. But they're really cool collectibles, and it's a nice place to learn about them on that website.
Okay. Sportscollectorsdaily.com.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Yep.
So go check that out. And
Yep.
they are not a sponsor of the show.
Not
However,
yet.
if they'd like to be, we would be more than happy to listen to any
Suggestions.
any suggestions, and
Yeah.
we even learned what an NFT is.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I'll invite one of the guys from there onto the show. We do have a lot of
That's
collectors
good.
out there.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And makes a great Father's Day gift, by the way. If you're thinking about something for your dad, what better a nice gift if they're a baseball fan. A couple packs of cards. I bet you see his face light up with a smile, and you probably have an hour of conversation with it.
You know, it's funny, and I agree. I agree. There's nothing more fun than opening up a pack of cards. The thing I get a kick at is you see these guys on YouTube's and they do these. I forget what the term is now. Bust opens or break opens or something, and they'll
Right?
buy a case of cards and
Yeah.
sit there and open it and. And they look through. Oh yeah. I don't want that. And I remember when I was a kid, we'd buy a couple of packs, and boy, it was a big thrill. And you'd look at every card, and you'd touch every card, and you'd read the back of even the bad cards.
Uh huh.
Um, and now people don't do that. They just go. They want to get the autograph card, or they want to get the swatch card, or they want to get the one with the piece of the bat in it. I don't even know what you call them. Or they
Yeah.
want to get the legend card, or they want to get this or that. You know,
They want to get the big money cards, Gary. They're
I guess.
it's like it's like fishing. And they used to call the guys that just buy individual packs, they'd call them pack rats. So,
Well, that's what
like
I
you
was
said,
when I was a kid. I
bust
guess.
opens out of a box or pack rats, whatever you know. I bought a pack recently, my first pack in years, and I didn't get anything special. I got like a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. card as probably the top card in the pack. And it was just an impulse buy. Here's a Byron Buxton, you know, card. I don't
Well,
know if the camera
that's
will pick that up.
that's what I do once in a while. I if I'm in a store, and I haven't been because of the pandemic.
Right?
But it's an impulse. I'll buy a pack, and friends, they're no longer a nickel a pack. Yes, I remember when they were 5 cents a pack, and of course we would work to get our 50 cents allowance and go buy a couple of packs of cards, and then we used to do something called flipping. We'd flip the
Yeah.
cards and two ways against the wall, flip them straight up and on the ground, and heaven forbid we would take our doubles and stick them in the spokes of our bicycles.
Sure.
So when you rode, it would go.
Yeah.
Sounded
with a
cooler than that.
with a clothespin, of course.
That's
You had to
right.
have the clothespin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And those days are long gone, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we flipped the cards, it was competitive. That's how you'd win cards, and you'd always you'd get that guy flipping that would be dumb enough to flip the Willie Mays or the Mickey Mantle, and because no matter how many packs you bought, you never could get it. And the kid that had the money, and his parents gave him $1 and he bought 20 packs, he'd get the Mickey Mantle or the Willie Mays or somebody. And boy, you try to trade for them. And that was the other thing we used to do, trade the cards. I'll
Yeah.
give you two of these, two Stan Musial,
Yeah.
a Gil Hodges,
Yeah. Roberto
or
Clemente
a
or
Roberto Clemente, and two Reggie Jacksons
yeah.
for your catfish hunter or something.
Yeah, that's those were the days.
Yep, they were. They were. But enough of living in the past.
Yeah.
We are living in the future now. So,
So we hope everybody has a great Father's Day weekend out there, baseball themed if you can. And Gary, I don't know if you have anything else, but I have a story here,
well,
kind of a field of dreams, so to speak, here. And I
ooh,
just found this on MLB.com yesterday. And this baseball field, if you're watching the video, is a field in some Sonoma wine country, tucked
wow.
away very privately. You wouldn't know it's there unless you were at this vineyard, and it's sort of carved right out of the vineyard. And it says you can't see the field immediately from the main tasting room or over the tall, twisted grape stalks while walking around the property. And if you didn't already know it was there, why would you even be looking for it? But this ballpark is very unique. They call it a secret hidden gem. Balletto Vineyards is where it's located in Sonoma, California. Built in 2002, so it's been there for a while.
Wow.
And let's see, it looks like it was proposed by the vineyard operations manager back then, Manuel Vallejo, who worked for the Ballettos for more than 30 years. Manuel asked the founder, John Balletto, if they could plow out about 4 acres for a baseball field. He was playing in a community league, and his team was having a really hard time finding places to practice. So that's the history of this cool sort of, movie-like baseball field in the middle of a vineyard.
Hey, and I bet those after practice get-togethers were pretty good fun too.
Yeah, yeah, plenty of wine. Go
Head
all
right to the
around there.
tasting room, right?
Yeah.
That's very cool.
So, sort of a field of dreams there in the middle of your Pinot Grigio or your Chardonnay.
Well, that's the beauty of this game, and I guess the mystique of some of it, and the passion that people have for it, can't be topped by anything else. I don't think there's a football stadium, field of dreams that is carved out in the middle of somewhere, and only baseball. I was thinking about this the other day. The baseball movies and the football movies are so different. The some of the baseball movies are filled with almost lyrical passion
Cliches.
and yeah, and cheesy, and the football movies are all
Yeah. Rah, rah,
um,
rah.
yeah, there's just a certain something about the game of baseball that really lends itself to different things.
Yep.
But this is great, and I bet you there's more gems around like that around the country that we don't even know about that people will be looking for now.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we thank you for joining us for this version of the Baseball Talk Radio Show, our Father's Day weekend special here. And we'll disconnect from the live stream from Facebook. So we thank you for tuning in. And I think this worked out pretty well, Gary.
Yeah, and thanks to Jeff and to George for tuning in, and to everybody else that may have stopped by and tuned in. And, we'll talk to you all very soon.
Yeah, leave us a message, a comment down there. Share it with your other friends and let them check it out as well. Thanks for watching this edition of the Baseball Talk Radio Show, and we'll get back to you very soon with another show.
Yeah. Have a great week, everyone.